Hi, I'm David, and this is Rimfire Ranch. Today's video is going to be about Day at the Range Challenge, Captain America. Normally, I do kind of technical stuff and little tuning stuff, so this is fun for me. The gun today is a CZ457 in my KRG chassis. I did a video showing the process of bedding the chassis and also the test before and after, which was a lot of fun, a lot of work. And I'm still doing some other testing with it with the torque settings. But as far as the Day at the Range challenge, I appreciate being invited to it and trying it, and posting it. So um, as they say, without further ado, let's get started. I have a camera at 50 yards down there. It looks like we have wind 5 to 7 north northwest, coming probably 80 to 90% value. Um, I checked that with the Kestrel, and so we'll see how it goes. The gun seems to be liking long range. I did a real quick kind of dope setting here. Normally, I shoot this gun at uh, at 200 yards out here on the ranch. We have a F-class club that we have 16 matches a year. Get two siders. Okay, those are my two siders. Looks like I'm close. The rim thickness on the ammunition I'm using today is 41 thousandths. Full long range. My wife is watching me, so if you see me, if I look scared from time to time, I just want you to know it's only the warden. Yeah, very, very high. I'm going to adjust my rear bag quickly. Oh, that's much better. Still high. So it looks like average is 1082, um, minimum 1067, max 1099. So none of that monkey business. Can't tell if we got that one. Only slightly right. 1100. So I think that one was me. Well, that's my score.
Okay, so we're done shooting Lapua long range. What I found with the Lapua is it was hovering around, right around 1080. Before I get much further, I'd like to say Day at the Range, thank you for the invitation and for making this great target, especially with all the crazy that's going on in the world. So let's get to kind of reviewing the targets themselves. Pua long range, and this is what I got out of it. I scored an 80, and you know, pinky promise, this isn't my, you know, best of 5 or something. And I don't even know what a good score is. I really haven't seen any scores out. I haven't been looking at it, but I was thinking, you know, I got an invitation to at least give it a shot and take part in the really great community of Rimfire precision. So I scored an 80. It looked like this was going to be hard to beat because I had shot a little 10X before. I wasn't really impressed with the 10X. I know that I'm going to get a lot of hate on that one, but I wasn't. And getting the type of accuracy I was getting out of the Lapua ammunition. However, this time I was pleasantly surprised. The Ely 10X won. So even with the higher velocities and it seemed like wider spread, the Ely 10X scored, and I like how I distanced myself from being responsible for the score. Was the ammunition, but the 10X actually scored an 81. So I'll repost this in the video with probably in a caption where you can see it. And it actually looked like it was more consistent. So I'm excited to try the Ely 10X in the F-class competitions that we have here on Rimfire Ranch in California. So we do a F-class 200-yard match, and we have a FTR, which is guys that have basically practically a factory rifle bipod, pretty low-grade triggers. And then we have an open class where you can bring 100% open class F-class rifles out here and shoot them and compete. But normally what we see is somewhere around, for the opens, we see around 190s, 200 possible, unless you score all 10s. Of course, you can keep going, but usually high 190s, mid to high 190s. So I really didn't know what to expect here with 50 yards. I usually only use 50 yards for 0. But pleasantly surprised. Obviously, there's room for growth here. But what's the rifle? So the rifle I'm shooting here is it is a Lilja barrel, 21 inch, I think is what it is. Might be a 22, but I think it's 21 inch. It's in a KRG chassis. I did bed the chassis. If you go to the channel, you'll be able to see the process and the tests, the before after bedding. I do think the bedding actually did help this gun too. So that will be another video I'm going to do on getting the action screws correct after you bedded a CZ457 in a chassis. So it's not as easy as going back to the recommended torque specifications on your action screws. So I won't tell you what that was, but there was a big improvement on getting those right. And I did shoot 200s after I bedded the gun. So it was darn good. I don't hold the record on Rimfire Ranch in the Three Palms F-class group. Another guy that's out here shooting a CZ457 in a chassis. I think his MDT chassis, and he set the record with 12 X's, 200. So he's the record holder right now. But and his is not bedded. I'm going to be putting in a Timney trigger very soon. Should be here any day. And I want to do baseline at 100 yards instead of 200 yards. 200 yards a lot of times introduces a lot of atmosphere, wind, temperature, heat mirage, those kinds of things. 100 still has it for sure, but I shoot down these I have quarter mile rows, and the trees tend to block a lot of the wind, so I'm getting a pretty true 0, and it's taking a lot of the atmospheric out of it. So I'll be able to do a test before and after the Timney trigger. Right now, the trigger that I have in it's the factory trigger. I have it with about as little over travel as you could probably dial into it, and I have it set about as light as you could get it, and still have it where it's safe if you're banging on it and flipping the safety on and off, where it's still safe to use and take out on the range. But I'm guessing it's braking probably feels to me like right at a pound, maybe slightly under, maybe 13 ounces to 16 ounces, and I know that probably varies from trigger pulls, but it's probably somewhere around a pound. So I'm not at all unhappy with the factory trigger. It's excellent. However, I do know that the Timney triggers should improve a little bit, and I'm hoping that they manage the over travel better, where there's no engagement with that. There's no drag on the sear. There's some timing with the lock, and also when it actually clears and allows the firing pin to be released, that is as pure of a process that's unencumbered as possible in order to get all the harmonics correct and repeatability and SDs and everything. And I'm seeing SDs that look like they could be a trigger issue. So we'll see if the SDs improve measurably. Well, then the trigger is a good idea. So Athlon scope, 15 to 60, KRG chassis, Lilja barrel, area 41 base, area 419 bolt handle. And that's it. Everything else pretty much straight away. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for letting me take part in the community of challenge, and God bless America. We'll see you soon.